Welcome to Claris Talk AI. I am Matt Navarre. At the EngageU FileMaker conference in Malmo, Sweden, I recorded several short interviews, and please enjoy this one.
Okay. I'm here with Ryan McCann. You have a new title, sir.
Yeah, I do.
CEO, is it?
ICEO. Yeah,
It's
ICEO.
like an iPad.
Yeah, ICEO, man. I like
iPhone.
it. Yeah. It is interim CEO and
A crazy sudden thing that
yeah,
you're handling with ridiculous grace. So congratulations.
I appreciate it, man. It's really cool, and I'm not just saying this, I mean it. It's like, look at the folks that were here today from Claris. Wes Powell, Andrew Cates,
Yeah.
Doug,
Yeah.
David. These are
Well,
like super talented folks. Most of them.
I love those.
Super talented guys, and
Yeah.
I'm just surrounded by people like that. So
Yeah.
it makes having to transition into something very quickly super achievable. You know, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so much about this has been amazing. So I think you said you had been to this conference once before, years ago, or
Never been to
never
this
been to
one.
this one?
No, first time.
Yeah, 200 people, pretty impressive, right?
Very impressive. And I like the regional focus. We made a decision coming out of COVID that we were going to invest more in
Yeah.
international conferences,
Good.
and it's the right choice. I was in Australia a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Very similar vibe, similar size, similar type sessions, and the energy is awesome. And I intend to continue investing in these things.
Yeah. Were you at the Japan conference a couple weeks ago too?
I was not. I was a little soon.
Yeah.
A little short notice.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
but we actually, that's our conference. So I didn't feel as
A lot more.
exposed or we had plenty of people.
Since I've been using FileMaker, you're the fifth CEO.
Okay.
I didn't really
What does
meet
that?
The first two. But
Yeah. What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. I mean, is it good? Is it
It
bad?
means I'm really old.
Yeah, you've been around a while. I know Andrew said the same thing. He said, I'm not making you feel bad, but I'm telling people this is my fifth or sixth CEO that I'm dealing with. So I'm really, honestly, man, I'm excited about this opportunity. I feel really comfortable in the position. I like the plan that we have for this year. I was obviously a big part of setting the plan. I really like the momentum that we have now. And so it's not to me about having to come up with really new, cool ideas or reboot anything. It's about executing, and I feel like I'm all right at that.
I'm going to ask you a hard question.
Okay.
So, what is going to be? What's your take on risk and like taking risk with some new directions? Putting money into things that are not a sure bet. Obviously, I'm not going to say take a risk. There's risk that's going to ruin the 100+ quarter profitability thing.
Yeah.
But like towards that. But that's what I want.
I have a higher tolerance, I think, for the risk. But I guess we got to define risk. There's low-hanging fruit, low-risk opportunities that could potentially significantly change our trajectory. One of the areas that is much less known, and I'm gonna take a risk by even talking about this, because the second I say anything about any diversion in course, it creates controversy. So I'm not trying to do that.
We're just talking.
Yeah, we're just chatting, and whoever's listening, just take it that way. But there's 90% of what we set as a plan for the year. I do not intend on touching. It's good. We're just executing. There's maybe a 10-degree shift that I might want to make in some areas, and I think the one that jumps off to me is AI. It's like we're making investments there, but I have a lot of energy for the opportunity, and I have a lot of energy for the difference in this opportunity versus other opportunities. I don't know that we can afford to not be aggressive. And while I love, so what do? We make powerful technology available to everyone. We're going to do that with AI as well.
Yeah.
We tend to take a very methodical, thoughtful approach, and the community loves that. I don't know. I'm told they do.
I'm the risk taker more.
Yeah.
So
I think that this is one of those areas where it's not about just shooting in the wind. But are we appropriately invested?
Yeah.
That's the question. And we are reevaluating that. I am reevaluating that because, like any normal year, we're setting ourselves up for the year, and it's a natural opportunity for us to re-examine some things and say, hey, do we really have enough engineering resources over here? Are we prioritizing this versus these two things? Is it really a lower priority? That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Is it a risk to take advantage of an awesome market-moving opportunity?
No, but there's things you do. So I guess an example of what I would be saying, one of the things that's really limiting using AI to actually create FileMaker programs is that ScriptMaker is not a text document.
Okay.
You can't like copy the text out of it, paste it into ChatGPT, say change the script and add this other code and then paste it back.
Yeah.
There's silly workarounds for it.
Yeah.
But a risk would be, oh, we're going to add a button. I'm not asking for a feature.
Got it.
We're going to add. I'm asking for a feature. Adding a button that says, oh, switch to fully text mode.
Yeah.
And then the whole exact script would be there in text.
Okay.
That you could then do that.
Yeah.
And then that would be a risk because for a lot of developers, they could break things. They could take one typo and all of a sudden the script can't work. So,
And that's where I immediately rely on the combination of the executives that's their category one. I'll look to Giuliano and Peter. I'll look to our customers and our partners to get the validated feedback based on what should we prioritize as our risks and how much tolerance do we have for these risks.
Yeah.
I will certainly not make any decisions in a vacuum like that.
Sure.
And I feel well supported.
it must be brutal having all the partners who all want different things. But there's no two companies who want the same thing.
It's crazy that you're the first person, and no matter what role I've been in, it's ever even acknowledged that. And I was just thinking about that yesterday. I'm like, the list of things that people have asked me for, and how many of those things have tension on each other. It's crazy, and it's like in going in one direction, you're not serving somebody else's desires or whatever. So that's where it does become really important to stay disciplined, understand what is our direction, and generally.
Don't say
keep
North
doing
Star.
it.
Don't.
I'm not. You notice I avoided that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not going to fall into that trap. But what's our direction? Where are we headed? And stay consistent with that to the extent that we possibly can. Because just as many people want us to keep pushing the boundaries of where we're going with, integrations or with, kind of the web-based technologies we're bringing to market, the same number of people stop doing that. Just stay in FileMaker. And no matter if we say we're doing things over here, people over here feel like maybe we're giving up on this. If we're not doing enough over here, they think we're not, taking advantage of the opportunities in the market.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. So I think a long time ago I sort of realized that happiness for me would be like sharing the features that I really want with no expectation that they're going to be implemented. I think a lot of developers kind of get frustrated because they have ideas, which are really great ideas, but aren't integrated because you can't do all of that.
Yeah.
So it's just,
What I found is that, well, first of all, I mean, as obvious, I'll state it, that you guys count on us to generate revenue and to be profitable so we can continue investing. So
not
the
me, I
decision-
just want a cool project to play with.
Well, but see, you live a different life,
I do,
though.
I
So,
do, yeah.
there's a
After
lot of
all
people that
these
aren't
years-
quite in the same position.
Well, to be fair though, with training, what I'm really trying to do now is to empower sort of the next generation.
Yeah.
I get people coming to my class in their 20s and 30s, not the 50s, 60s, but of the sort of the core of the thing. So those people I would love to help them make a living. I did a recording with a dude today who's 17.
Yeah. So the guy that was here today?
Yeah, Roman.
Oh, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do a whole podcast on just that guy.
Yeah.
Well, you and I talked earlier about it, and I've shared with you my energy for doing a much better job of kind of crowdsourcing, leveraging the experts in our community, and creating a platform for them to become more visible to help accelerate us through our ability to bring more young developers into our platform. You will definitely see that as a big area of focus for you. So the where you are at your stage of your career, you have the ability to focus more on things that are more your passion. But at the end of the day, everybody expects us, most people expect us to be generating revenue, growing and continuing to invest. I think one of the things people appreciate from me is just telling the truth. And if we're not going to do something,
Your
just saying
predecessors,
no.
none of them have done that. Dominique.
Dominic's the best, man. Those guys were both, Brad
I
was
still have
great.
his number in my phone.
Yeah, he was
He was on the
awesome.
podcast.
Oh, was he? Yeah, awesome as a mentor. But I think that's a lesson that I've learned from these guys is be clear about who we are and be clear about who we aren't, and just accept not everybody's going to love what you're doing and agree with you, but
yeah, but having go ahead and do it.
yeah.
So I guess I would, listening to the community you do that more.
Yep. Listening to the
Yeah.
community, yeah. It's interesting, man. I think that part of the struggles that we have had in our transition from, if you think about it as an organization, we've shifted from our culture, like a kind of managing risk to trying to get to a growth posture, and then shifted from waterfall to agile. And it's cool to say those things, but implementation in a company that's been around for multiple decades, with people that have been with us for multiple decades, everybody changes at their own speed and with their own level of comfort. So that's been really hard.
That's kind of especially true with the FileMaker community.
Totally.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people who sort of figured out the platform, they got really good expertise, and they can build beautiful applications, and they don't really need to learn every single new thing that comes out. But having new versions that come out, like 21.1 came out a week and a half ago, with amazing new things. Yeah. And I know that there's going to be some new AI things coming really soon.
Totally.
And just being on Agile can do that. And of course, the thing I love about FileMaker is virtually nothing ever breaks when a new release comes out. Yeah. Except 6 to 7. That broke a lot.
Yeah. I wasn't around then. But that's the idea. Is like, look, we can try and do a great job of marketing people into staying in our programs and not expiring in maintenance or whatever, or we can just build a really cool product and make it so attractive. Like everybody's waiting for the next release, not a year from now, like in 3 months, what's coming. So, but getting to that point was really hard, and a lot of what we had, the muscle that we had to develop was how do we actually get market feedback quickly, and what's the right feedback that we're looking for and who we're looking for it from to make better decisions faster about our product strategy. That takes time, right? And so just the whole transition over the last few years, it was bumpy, it was hard, it happened during a tough economy, all that stuff. But we're kind of on the other side of a lot of that now, and I think that our community is seeing the stuff that we're bringing to market is demonstrating that, all right, they're starting to get kind of good at this, and we're going to get better, but so much of it revolves around our ability to be close to our customer, whether it's our partner, in-house developers, executive decision makers, whatever.
The first thing you said at the keynote, which was so cool, was like, hey, everybody here, come talk to me. Make a point to come talk to me. Yeah. And then you disappeared for 2 days.
Well, I didn't mean it. I was.
No, I saw you always talking to people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's my background, man. I love to be. I get a lot of energy from it, but I also. It's an awesome responsibility. I know that there are literally thousands and thousands of developers and 1,500 partners that are counting on us. I want them to feel assured. I want them to understand what we're doing. I'm proud of what we're doing, and the only way that I can assure people and get them on board with us is to talk about what we're doing and to hear where there's disagreements. But for the most part, I think people like our direction. So it's something that I look forward to talking about.
Yeah, cool. What else you got for me?
Man, I'm out of gas. I've been here for 3 days. I'm tired.
This was so good. I'm going to throw one other thing out. Okay. This venue and the way that this was laid out, like in a hotel, one bar, everybody's in the same room, everybody kind of gathers, was the absolute best of what DEF CON used to be. Like back in the days of like the desert, Marriott, and Arizona, it's 118 degrees up. And I'll say this, I'm not going to go to Engage next year. Okay. Because, living in Europe, it's kind of a long trip. Yeah. And because it was really it didn't have that experience. The AAV and everything being at the Apple campus was great. The trade show was not a hit. Yeah. And then everybody was all different hotels. Yeah. So even though Austin was lovely, I'm putting a pretty strong vote to try to go back into whatever it's going to take to go back to this kind of a feel, because it's so much more community.
So anyway, let me preface
like before, no expectation of change.
Let me preface my response by saying that up until 3 weeks ago, this wasn't my primary concern. It has now become something that I need to make sure that I'm closer to. As I understand it, the feedback, we're doing it at the Apple campus, and there were some really good things about that. They gave us some advantage.
Yeah.
There was consistent feedback about splitting the rooms for the keynote, no bueno. And then the fact that we didn't have places to congregate centrally, those are the two like overwhelming pieces of feedback. I'm not sure what we're doing to solve for that, but I know that we are doing things to solve for it. And I will learn quickly.
What are the barriers of going back to like a Marriott user kind of a thing?
I think it's expense. It's we have, if we can make bigger investments in these types of conferences and not do the annual huge thing.
This is enough people to feel really like there's community.
Totally agree.
200 people.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And we're not going to we are going to do a U.S. conference. There's no question about that. But is it as necessary if we've got 200, 400, 600 people in Europe, 200, 400, 600 people in Australia and in Japan? Then maybe we just have 600 people in the U.S.
Yeah.
Eventually, when we triple or quadruple our size, there will be more than that. But right now, it had to be big because that was our thing. That's where everybody came.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. This venue, this community, the ability for I haven't left the hotel in 3 days, and I'm not complaining about it. Everything we needed was right here.
That's kind of true.
Yeah.
I walked around a little bit. It's cool.
I went to 7-Eleven across the street one time.
There's like 5 7-Elevens in the airport.
There's 7-Elevens here, more like Whole Foods, though. I don't know if you've noticed that.
No, I won't get into one.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Thanks so much for your time, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you for asking me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah. You done?
Yeah.
All right.
Did you forget to push record?
I did.